Love, peace, unity, understanding, harmony amongst one another. Wendell's World in Sports. I'm your host, Wendell Wallace. So glad that you could be with us. Rip, roaring, ready to go. I give you my sports talk podcast with entertaining value. I give you the most entertaining, thought-provoking podcast that you can listen to. Rate, review, subscribe anywhere where you listen to podcasts, and you will not be disappointed. I give you football, basketball, baseball, college football, college basketball, UFC, MMA, and of course the loves of my life, the Georgetown Hoyas. And sometimes I might go a little bit farther and talk about what else is happening in the world. Wendell's World in Sports, the most awesome podcast that you can listen to. Rate, review, subscribe anywhere where you listen to your podcast. Wendell's World in Sports. I'm your host, Wendell Wallace. So glad that you could be with us. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Labor Day. This is just a little something in terms of a preview of an upcoming sports talk podcast, which is going to be dropping in the next couple of days. Wendell's World in Sports. Please remember to download, subscribe, rate, review, and most importantly, enjoy the most unique sports talk podcast that you can listen to, the most unique, entertaining sports talk podcast that you can listen to, the most unique, entertaining, thought-provoking sports talk podcast that you can listen to. So download, rate, review, subscribe, most importantly, enjoy. On my podcast that I did, that's going to be dropping in the next couple of days, just went over, gave my thoughts and opinions about the first weekend, for real, of college football. Talked about Georgia's 10-3 victory over Clemson. What did that mean for Georgia moving forward? Talked about how Georgia, for a good number of folks out there in Southeastern Conference country, when you speak about Georgia, now this is a situation where ever since that 26-23 loss in the national championship game 5 years ago with Alabama, it was supposed to be it was supposed to be an introduction of Georgia of being one of the top elite college football programs in the country. They were supposed to be the ones that were going to be in the same VIP section and sit at the same VIP table as Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, and such. They were supposed to be the team that was supposed to be vying for championships. Now, going into Kirby Smart's fifth year, they've had good seasons. They've had very good seasons. For 98-99% of football fans, 98-99% of college football fans in their football program. But with the introduction of Kirby Smart and Georgia in that 2017 national championship game against Alabama, the recruiting prowess that they've been on since that game, and now the talent that they've accumulated over the years, now is a situation where the expectations for Georgia should be, look, man, I'm tired of going ahead and just playing in Peach Bowls. I'm tired of going ahead and not being in national championship games after the first one that we had in 2017. I'm tired of finishing the season somewhere between ranking number 5 and number 8. It's about time now with Kirby Smart, the team that he has, the talent that he's accumulated. This should be a situation this year where the Georgia Bulldogs should be competing seriously for a national championship. Losing to Alabama in the national semifinal game, or losing to Alabama in the SEC championship game and missing an opportunity to get to the national championship game or get to the semifinals is not going to be acceptable. If you want to be on the same level of an Ohio State, if you want to be on the same level of an Alabama, if you want to be on the same level as a Clemson for the last couple of years, just going 11-2 or 12-1 and winning a Sugar Bowl or winning a Peach Bowl or winning a Rose Bowl and that's it while the other teams are playing for championships is not going to be acceptable. Kirby Smart now has put his Georgia football program in a position to where it's nothing but championships or it's a disappointing season. If that's the company you want to keep and being one of the elite college football programs in this country, then that should be the expectations. Anything less, as I mentioned before on my podcast, when you're speaking about Georgia this season, anything less than being in the national semifinals for the college football season would be a complete and utter failure. So I talked about that, talked about Alabama being head and shoulders above everybody else as far as college football is concerned, and also called them the most dominant sports program, sports team in North America, and gave my reasons why. 15-game winning streak, the dominance that they've had. Not going to go ahead and say, based off of one game against the University of Miami, that Alabama is, worthy of those platitudes. This is just something where over the past 15 games, you can't name me another team in any sport this side of the globe where they've been more dominant than what the University of Alabama's football team has been putting down. So I talked about that, talked about some games in week one as far as college football is concerned, talked about Ed Orgeron and LSU, talked about some of the winners and the losers, talked about some of the quarterback play. Then I ended the podcast by talking about Naomi Osaka losing in the third round in the U.S. Open and then taking a break from tennis. Wendell's World in Sports. Rate, download, review, subscribe, enjoy. This has been the preview of Wendell's World in Sports.